Hello, everyone. Happy E3 day. This is Direct Xbox, the E3 version podcast. We have all the big press conferences were today, except for Nintendo, which is tomorrow, sort of. Their streaming version of it will be tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and we'll be doing a podcast tomorrow that will cover Nintendo as well as the Sony. We're not going to break down Sony today. We just started this podcast recording right after Sony ended, and we would like to go to bed sometime before 2 a.m. So we'll save the Sony one for tomorrow, and we'll also give kind of our final impressions of the overall conferences and tell you who we think, on an individual basis, because I don't think we'll all agree, who had the best conferences. So with that said, I'm joined by the entire crew today. So we'll let them introduce themselves, but first, I'm Chanogram, I'm your host. I'll let these guys introduce themselves.
This is Av3rag3 Gam3rguy. Hello.
This is Landshark, aka Scott.
This is Carnal Sin, aka Dom.
Hey, this is MWJW. Michael.
Hey, this is Bobby, also known as CabinTerror.
Alright, so there you have it. We're all here today. First time we've all been here since the first week, maybe? Might be, I can't remember. Yeah, we were all in parties all throughout the day, so some of you probably had talked to us. It's been a long day of watching TV, and I'm tired, which sounds really awful and out of shape of me, but I think other people here are tired as well.
My ears are...
Nah.
Yeah, I've been having to move my headset every 30 seconds because my head's starting to hurt. My ears from having everything on. So
I have my head on my fist with my elbow resting on the table.
Yeah, we'll lose Carnal. Carnal will
we're
fall
gonna
asleep.
hear Cardinal sleeping. Oh boy! Yeah. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun day. I think everyone had fun. Lots of cool announcements. Not a lot of disappointments, really, in the grand scheme of things. I think everyone's pretty happy in the gaming world. So I'm sure people will find something to complain about. Maybe we will too, but there's always something to complain about, right? So we're not going to do too much of this other stuff we typically do. This is all about E3 and all about the Microsoft, EA, and Ubi press conferences. Again, with Sony and Nintendo's discussions to follow tomorrow in part 2. So know what we're playing. We've all been playing Watch Dogs. I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't think anyone's opinions have changed since last week's podcast, so I think we can just kind of skip that and jump right into the first press conference of the day, which was Microsoft's, and we'll break it down literally line by line of what they went over. Some of them we'll skip over with minimal discussion, some of them we'll discuss more. Just kind of depends what everyone feels. So let's just jump right into it. So Phil was the host, Phil Spencer, of course. I thought he did a good job, but that's the whole side piece. First thing they showed was Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. They showed... I can't remember if they showed a trailer or just the gameplay, but I know they showed the gameplay, and it surprised me. It made me a believer. I was never one of the biggest, necessarily, doubters of Call of Duty, so I'm sure people like Av3rag or MW could probably speak more to that. So,
I've never had a problem with Call of Duty from a single-player standpoint. Graphically, it's always been a nice-looking game. Yeah, they reused the engine a lot back in the 360 days, but whatever. Still, graphically, it always went forward and never went backwards in graphics. Single-player has always been something that, hell, EA has been trying to copy the single-player of Call of Duty for the last 10 years, and they still can't get it right. They have a special formula. Nothing's changed in that regard with, what we saw today. Absolutely stunning. Looks like a very, very good campaign. I just hope that the multiplayer benefits from some of that new that we saw in, what we saw today. If it's the same old tacked on, and I can't call it tacked on, millions of people love it, but to me, that multiplayer is old. So hopefully that gives me a sense of new, like the stuff that we saw. If that's the case, then I may buy my first Call of Duty in the last 4 years. So.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with Av3rag. I was very visually impressed, feature impressed. Everything looked real smooth, looked really good. Makes me want to go and play it, and I haven't played a Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2. Everything, hopefully, like he said, transfers over to the multiplayer. I imagine a lot of the weapons they show off will, but will the smoothness, gameplay, variation is the real question. I guess we will see more.
My opinion on it is, I haven't played a Call of Duty since Black Ops, and really I've never been a huge fan of Call of Duty at all. Never was a big fan of the multiplayer or anything like that. Not even really the single player, even though the single player did have some moments in there. This game, I was actually very impressed by what was going on screen. It looks really good. It played really good, and there was enough new in it that wasn't the same old Call of Duty that it makes me interested. I'm not saying I'm going to buy it 100%, but I am definitely putting it on my radar, which is more than I would have before. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I always liked Call of Duty. I never really had anything against them other than just the saturation of so many Call of Duty games. So, I never really, I didn't go in with any low expectations. I thought it was good. Yeah, I'm just, I guess the only question I have, I'm curious to see how the new, like, jetpacks and stuff like that work in the multiplayer.
All right. Shark, did you have anything to add on this one, or are you just going to skip this one?
Oh, every year they showed really good Call of Duty trailer, and I thought this one was really good, so we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, the trailers are always good, it seems like.
Yeah.
They are good at that.
I haven't played a Call of Duty game in a while, so I'm not going to talk about anything recent, but we'll see what happens when they actually show. When they show some actual multiplayer gameplay and get more hands-on with it, then I'll be happy to talk more about it. But yeah, the video was good. Trailer was good.
Yep.
They do a good Michael Bay video game.
Yeah.
It's great summer action in the fall.
So that's Call of Duty. We're going to kind of fly through these games. There's so many games on these press conferences, so the pace will be pretty high. Like I said, the bigger ones we'll spend more time on. Also, you guys in the podcast definitely don't feel like you have to say something. So if it's a game you're really not interested in, don't have much to say about, just say pass. So don't feel like you don't have to comment on every game if you don't want to. So you're more than welcome to. I'm not saying you can't, but yeah. So next one was a really quick one. They announced Forza 5 has a new track, which is a track that apparently people in racing world said it should have been there to begin with. Yep. I'm not a big Forza 5 track person. I love the game, but I don't really know the tracks. It's called Nürburgring. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Is that right?
Close enough.
Yep.
You guys should know what I'm talking about if you're familiar with the racing world. Apparently, it's been sought after. It's free. It's available right now. You can go download it. Enjoy. Let us know what you think. I don't think
nice little E3 treat.
Yeah, I don't think... Has anyone here downloaded it?
No, but I will be tomorrow.
Okay. I know Mortimus
has.
Yeah, Mortimus
said it's a very, very difficult, very long track.
Yeah, well, it said it had like
16 miles.
16 was the long
16.
one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's crazy.
Which is the full track.
Yep, that's the full full circuit or whatever you call it.
Yep. It's a pretty awesome track.
Millimeter precision detail, they said. So, you go.
Huh.
So, yeah. So that's that. And then kind of in the same little thing on stage, they announced... well, they announced. We kind of knew it was coming because they already announced it. But Forza Horizon 2, they talked a little more about it. Not a lot of new information. If you read the IGN articles, and I know I don't really want to endorse IGN necessarily, but they did have a couple good write-ups last week about the game. A lot of the details were already in there. 1,000 player clubs, day-night cycle, rain, etc. Very open world-ish style game. Graphically looks pretty good. Does anyone else have any, what do you guys think of it?
Off-road looked really good.
I'm not a racing game fan, but that one I will probably be picking up.
Yeah.
Ditto that. I haven't played arcade racing in a while, though. That one looks pretty good.
Yep.
And it's not fully arcade, keep that in mind. People, according to the guy who wrote, I think, was it Ryan McAfee? I don't know who wrote it. They said that even though it's Forza Horizon, it still has the same tight racing mechanics as Forza. So it feels
it's based off
very
the Forza
similar.
5, or the Forza stuff.
Yeah, but it's
racing mechanic.
Yeah, it's not as probably punishing as Forza 5 is, but it's it's Forza 5 racing basically. So Anyone else have anything on that one? Any other racing game, guys?
If I have any money left.
Yeah, that's the big
That's a
thing.
whole-
It's low on the list, but it's on the list.
All right, average. Anything?
No.
All right. Fair enough. So it looks good. Like I said, they didn't announce a whole lot of new information, which is why we're not spending too much time on it. I recommend reading those IGN articles. I think we linked them on our forum as well. They're very good write-ups. They have a lot of good information.
By the way, if we don't sound too enthused, it still is a very pretty game.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
Yeah, keep in mind, we're
So
all...
don't take that non-enthusiasm as, oh god, it was just terrible looking.
No,
it's
we're
very, very pretty.
Yeah, we're all
There you
tired
go.
and burnt out, so I don't think any of us are going to get too worked up today about anything. Maybe tomorrow.
Exactly.
So tomorrow I'm sure you guys will hear us argue a little bit more about the press conferences. Today I think we're all just going to kind of agree not to disagree. Next they showed a new trailer with some good gameplay clips of Evolve.
Showing.
Which did any of you guys other than Carnal and MW watch the dashboard version of it?
Yes.
Okay, so the quality was much better on that stream after the fact. The game looks unbelievable. And I told this to Carnal, and I think MW was in the party at this time, but I think, and this is just games that I've seen gameplay of, there could be games that we haven't seen full gameplay of other than maybe The Division, looks about as good as I've seen any game look. Some of the effects and the landscape and the water in that game look unfreaking real, which is funny because it's made on the Unreal Engine.
Yeah, it looked really fun.
Yeah. So.
Oh, and Cthulhu Jr. there just, that's an amazing monster.
Yeah. So.
Release the Kraken!
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't show a ton of new information. I think we all know quite a bit about this game already. It's not like it's a secret. 4 verse 1. So
yeah, I think that's.
It was cool to see the new monsters.
Yeah, they did show some of the new monsters in small clips, so you got to see more than just the one they've always kind of shown. You got to see some of the. I think they showed a couple different environments. Quickly, it was a short trailer. It's not like they, went in there for 5 minutes. The gameplay portion was probably about 30 seconds or less. Yep. So, I'm sure it's a game we'll have a ton of fun with when it comes out as a community.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
So, Average, you're still quiet. Did you fall asleep?
No.
Are you just waiting till we get to the?
I'm media blacked out on that one until it comes out. I don't need to know anything else about Evolve. So.
Fair enough. Yep. Next one, they actually played some Assassin's Creed Unity. We got to see the. I think it was the first time they've actually shown gameplay, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
There might have been pictures, but that was the first.
Yeah, this is the first working gameplay we've seen. So they showed gameplay and they showed the co-op, which is 4-player co-op.
Oh, yes.
And it looked pretty damn good.
Yes.
I will say too, the graphics on the game are amazing. The detail of the
Fabric,
world.
man.
Yeah, so it's pretty impressive. I'm not the biggest Assassin's Creed fan. I've played a couple of them. I enjoyed 4. I enjoyed 1 and 2 to a certain degree, but. You guys, anyone in here a big Assassin's Creed fan that wants to
me and
talk
Average.
about it? There you go.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
Kevin,
don't get me wrong. I don't hate Assassin's Creed. I'm just not the person to speak about it.
Get out of here, man! Get out of here!
It was crazy.
Great.
Yeah, it looked really good. It was that was one of the ones I went in with kind of low expectations, or just kind of like it'll be a prettier version of Black Flag or whatever. But yeah, it was actually really impressive. So
Yeah, I was blown away. I thought it looked amazing.
They said that they have been working on this particular Assassin's Creed for 4.5, 5 years. And that 6 minutes that they showed shows that they have been working on this Assassin's Creed for the last 4.5, 5
definitely.
years. They have
Yeah, I may have
invested
to buy a
some
second
time.
Xbox for this. So I can play with my wife and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And the amount of the amount of characters on the screen, I mean,
Yeah, it was good.
that was
It's
insane.
a living city. That is the definition of a living city. It looks great.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
just
still
tons
impressed.
of things happening around you.
I'm still impressed
Yeah.
with like Dead Rising and everything, but damn, that
There's a lot of living
surprise.
people.
And the
Yeah.
co-op looks fun as hell. I mean, being able to correlate with your friends on stuff like that—that's good job, Ubi, because that's amazing.
So, do we know if the entire like campaign is co-op, or is it just like a different thing? Its own thing?
Pretty sure not.
I'm pretty sure it's just mission based. Like you can call friends and for the missions you pick up. I'm pretty sure you can't run around with your friend through the entire cities or area, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah,
so don't quote me.
We did see in the trailer, or one of the trailers. I'm not sure if it was this one or if it was the one from the Ubi. We'll talk about later. Didn't one of the missions actually say like 4-player max or 1 to 4 players or something like that?
Yeah, it
like
said 4-player max.
Yeah,
but
I don't know if that means that there's gonna be missions that you just can't take anyone in with you, or if that means that each mission has a character limit or whatever.
The person did say that explore the world of wherever with your friends, up to 3 people. So that makes me think that maybe you can bring everyone in. I just don't know.
Keep in mind, with Watch Dogs, you're always playing with other people. It's just a matter of whether or not they invade your game. Everyone's in your game. Because when you go to people in Watch Dogs and they've already been hacked, that means that somebody has hacked a person that's technically in your game. So there's always someone available to go in your game. The Division is another one. It's drop in, drop out multiplayer. That person is not necessarily in the game with you, but if you're doing a mission and you want help, they hop in and then they can go back to playing the game their way. I'm pretty sure they're taking components from all of that for that multiplayer. So no, you may not technically run around together, but that person is on the other side of the map doing something, and you decide to invite them. They come from what they're doing over to your side. So you'll probably be playing together and you just not know it, if you understand what I'm saying. And they'll probably borrow, because that's what Watch Dogs does. That's why you get that option at the beginning of Watch Dogs to turn all of that off, because those people are persistently in your world. It's just a matter of whether or not they actually come into it when it actually, triggers the multiplayer or the hacking or whatever. So I'm pretty sure they're borrowing that mechanic and kind of tweaking it to make it, more co-op as opposed to, 1v1 and stuff like that.
I don't know if it's going to be exactly they can just get in whenever they want to. I think it's going to be more you have to invite them or
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you would still be playing the game. It's like, let's say you're on the west side of town and I'm on the north side of town doing something. And you invite me. I don't necessarily have to go into a lobby to come into your game. I can go directly from what I'm doing to your game. And that's the same as Watch Dogs, though. Because if you pull up the CTOS app, I can be on the other side of town, and if you decide to hack me, you're, boom, in my game. So you can, and that's why they say you can explore the world, but when you want to play with someone, you just go and play with them. You don't have to go into a lobby to get in their game, or you don't all have to start at the same time.
Could be very much like Fable 2 was, where you saw orbs floating around that represented your friends or other players doing the same mission.
Maybe,
click on that well, I'm just saying
the
as
crew
an
also
example, something
is the
similar.
same thing. As a matter of fact, if you look at the crew, if you look at the demo of the crew last year, remember there was someone racing in Miami, and then there was someone racing in New York, and they decided that they wanted to join up in the crew. When they turned the corner, that person was in their game. It's the same thing. The same thing. Because they were on the other side of the country, but you decided to invite them.
Horizons.
Yeah, we should have probably brought that up. They did talk about an IGN, I think, but then they also brought it up there. Forza Horizon has like instant drop in, drop out. There's like no loading. It's literally you don't even know that you're switching into someone's game. It just puts you in.
Right.
Your traffic stays the same.
Dedicated servers.
Yep. So, yeah. Summary of Assassin's Creed presentation. I think we all went in kind of not really knowing what to expect. None of us hate Assassin's Creed. A few of us love it. But I think all of us came away pretty impressed.
4 was great, so I expected something as equal, but I got something possibly better.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll go on. We'll hit Assassin's Creed a little bit more because they had another gameplay video.
We were pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Moving on. Dragon Age Origins. They showed They didn't talk much about it. It was just a clip of the game. Like a trailer, basically. According to people who know more about it than I do, it has some in-game stuff in it. So I don't know anything about this game. I'm not a big Dragon Age guy. So I'll let someone else talk about this one.
You want to wait for the E3 talking, just because that's more associated with gameplay?
The E3? We're talking about E3.
Not E3, EA. Sorry.
I knew what
Sorry,
you meant.
man.
I just wanted to call you out.
Or we can talk about it now and skip it in E3.
It don't matter. I mean, this was a really quick clip. They didn't talk about the game at all. It was just, hey, look at this. Yeah, we can skip it and we can bring up that the other trailers.
Yeah,
so they showed two
I'd bring it
more
up in there.
gameplay and stuff later, so we can skip that one. This one I know we'll talk about for a few minutes. Sunset Overdrive. They showed one of my favorite trailers of the entire conference. I thought it was awesome, and it was hilarious in the party we were all in. I was one of them. We're like, oh, what game is this? Is this Hardline? Is this whatever? And they showed the door with Criterion Games on it, and the guy comes busting through the door.
Insomniac, you mean?
Insomniac.
What did I say?
Criterion.
Sorry.
We're all messing up because of being tired tonight.
Sorry, Insomniac Games. Yeah, and it was hilarious because we were
Stay
all
for the blooper trailer.
completely thrown for a loop until that door was shown and the guy busted through it. It was pretty awesome.
It was funny though. I loved it.
Good trailer, and then they actually showed gameplay, like real gameplay of a guy playing it. Summary, it looks awesome. I'm even more excited now than I was before, and we saw a lot of stuff earlier a few weeks ago when they blew out the media stuff. But watching someone play it and seeing how smooth it is and everything, it looks really, really fun. So one person I'm really curious to hear about, and this is the only person out of our group that wasn't really that impressed initially, and that's Landshark. And I want to know what he thinks now.
I'm not sure if you're going to want to hear what I think. I thought the video was awesome. And we were all just sitting there trying to figure out what the heck we were looking at. Like, what game is this? What game is this? So that was pretty clever. But so between what I've seen today, it still looks like a glorified Dead Rising 3 to me.
You suck. Average, what do you... No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I'm not... 8-player co-op sounds awesome. But again, I don't know. I don't know.
That's
fair.
fair.
Try out myself,
everyone has an opinion.
You definitely got to say that they did announce officially 8-player co-op.
Can I just ask a question? In Dead Rising 3, when could you bounce on things, ride on rails, shoot from riding on rails, ride up a roller coaster, jump off that roller coaster? I don't see the comparisons here. I understand the weapon crafting and everything.
Set off a nuclear explosion.
Yeah. Make things go pop and read the word blood.
I get the comparison. I can sympathize.
Yeah.
I get it.
There's a couple of specific points that bug me about it. One of them is, it seems to be that killing enemies doesn't make a difference. Like there's just a bunch of enemies and you're shooting with no target reticle, just letting it auto aim for you, just killing guys for absolutely no reason, other than just to do it.
Well, they haven't shown the progression system yet.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's some sort of progression system.
So there's that. It's pretty goofy. I mean, it looks fun, but I didn't see like a point to do anything in that game. Like, that's just what I'm not seeing.
Yeah.
Well,
so
they were
Landshark
just
is
showing
saying he doesn't like to have fun for the sake of having fun. He's got to have a point to it.
They have talked previously about clans and factions and stories and the reason that you're doing this and the reason you're clearing it out. It wasn't shown, and I don't think it was necessary because that's not their main strength. Their main strength is fun, exciting. I want to show this to the world gameplay, not, oh, here's my storyline mission that everyone else is going to play the exact same thing.
Yeah. Well, who else?
I mean, when you're playing Mario Brothers, do you ever ask how the hell does he go down a drain or grow big when he eats a mushroom? I mean, it's not taking itself seriously, and that's what's awesome about it. It's a fun game. I don't understand.
Well, Landshark's issue isn't with the ridiculousness of it. It's with he just doesn't know. The storyline's pretty vague so far, other than we know why they are the way they are. But
yeah,
I get it. I don't agree.
I get it. I just don't agree with it. Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, that's why we have a podcast. If we all thought the exact same thing, it wouldn't be a very fun podcast. So
no.
Av3rag, you haven't said much about it. What do you think?
I am on media blackout for Sunset Overdrive.
Oh my goodness! How about this?
Yeah, but you at least watched the trailer. You can talk about the trailer.
Yeah. Oh, you want an opinion? If I could buy it right now, I would shave off my left leg and go and give it to someone and play the game. I want it. I love it.
Well, you might want to email that to them. They might take you up on that.
I mean
they sound like they're fun enough to give that a try.
I get where Landshark is coming from. 100% because if you played the old Dead Risings, even the current Dead Rising, it's a lot of people on screen or a lot of zombies on screen. And you kind of just run around and shoot, or you're kind of just running around and doing nothing. And sometimes when you look at the gameplay for Sunset Overdrive, you can just see yourself doing that and it being repetitive. But I think the thing that Sunset Overdrive does to distance itself from the regular kind of sandbox games is it goes vertical. And that's one of the bigger attractions to Sunset Overdrive for me, is the fact that it's just as much vertical as it is horizontal, and there's just as much crap chasing you as evidence in the gameplay, because that monster didn't just stay on the ground when he hopped up on that building. The monster climbed up on the building to come up after him. So it shows that the enemies, certain enemies, are going to be a little more engaged with you than maybe Dead Rising 3 would be. And then just the over the top, if you played an Insomniac game, if you played any of the Resistance games or the Ratchet and Clanks, you know that they know how to do weapons in a way that most other developers don't. Even when they're having fun with their weapons, they work in a way that most other developers just can't get their weapons to work. Like, who would use a Roman candle for a weapon? But every time they shoot that damn thing on screen, it looks good and it looks effective. So I'm excited for it. Like I said, I won't be reading anything else about it until it releases. Definitely a must-have for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, must-have for a lot of us.
So, yeah. So the general consensus, minus Landshark, is I think most of us are pretty excited for it. And even Landshark, I think, is somewhat excited to see more of it. I don't think he's... I can't speak for him. I don't think he hates the game. I think he's just waiting to see more, really. So.
Yeah, it's not a no for me. I want to see more of it.
Stream it for him. Stream it for him.
You can wait on the fence and then watch all of us have fun. Just like who was it that said they weren't going to get Hardline? Was it MW?
That
when
I
told them, I told MW to sit there and watch us have fun.
I said if they prove me wrong and it looks like fun and the multiplayer works, then I will go buy it day one.
We'll get Hardline. That's in the EA conference, so we'll talk more about that one.
Sure.
So. There is anything else on Sunset Overdrive, guys? Summarize that one pretty good.
It looks good.
All right.
I could talk all day on that shit, so we'll just move on.
All right. So we'll go on to the next one, which is the Dead Rising 3 add-on. And bear with me while I look up the name real quick. It looks ridiculous.
Dead Rising 3 Ultra Alpha Limited
yeah, it has
Special
a hilarious
Awesome
name. The trailer was...
Oh my god, edition.
The trailer was funny. Yeah, it's... Why am I not finding it now? Interesting. I thought I had the page open that had it. Yeah, we have a... We'll have a thread for it for sure, but yeah, it's a hilarious name. But basically, it lets you play as some classic, like, Capcom characters dressed up, basically, and some of the... It's very weird. It looks very arcadey. I was watching some people stream it earlier for a few minutes, and...
Yeah, same here.
It's definitely a different take. It kind of changes up the look and feel of the game a little bit. So
it felt very much like Far Cry 3 Red Dragon. You know, just insane.
Like a throwback.
Yeah, kind of. Well, less than a throwback, more of just insane action that you kind of have to look at twice just because you're like, this seems so... but yet, they always turn out to be incredibly fun and something you can go back for and really enjoy. And it's something you don't expect out of those kind of games. No one ever expected it out of Far Cry.
It looked really fun, and I'm a little disappointed I got rid of my copy of Dead Rising 3 because I would have ate that up. But
Same here.
As for the name, it was Super Ultra Dead Rising 3 Arcade Remix Hyper Edition X Plus Alpha.
yeah.
With Capcom written all over that.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it has like Final Fight character. I mean, it's got a lot of old school Capcom references and characters and stuff.
It's got like the E-Tanks as power-ups from Mega Man. They had interludes. Tofu, yeah, Tofu was freaking amazing. It's got bonus missions where you beat up cars like in Street Fighter. I mean, it's got everything.
Yeah. And even more crazy weapons than the original game. How strange is that? They even look weirder. I mean, dear God, I thought Dead Rising 3 weapons were about the pinnacle of strange. I was wrong. Just watching this guy stream it, I was so wrong. So wrong.
So, that's it for that. If any of us try it, we'll talk about it on the next podcast. Maybe I'll pick it up. Next game they talked about and actually showed some gameplay. I don't know if it was... Did they play this one on stage, or was this one that they actually just showed like a canned gameplay? I can't remember.
Yeah, they had 4 people up on stage, and then towards the end, the evil.
Yeah.
I'll let you explain that.
Yeah, Fable Legends. So it's another 4v1 game. The difference being in this one, the 1 is more of a top-down sort of like Battlefield Commander style,
Dungeon Master.
Yeah.
Dungeon Master.
You place the enemies. You can do a lot of things with the map and stuff and things like that. But you don't actually take a character and play as them and go after the heroes. At least not from what we saw. Maybe there's something there. I don't know. But we didn't see it at least. And then the 4 players are actually more typical Halo-ish. God, Fable-ish, where it has the same type of style. It looks very similar combat-wise to some previous Fables, and yeah, it looked neat. The graphics were pretty cool. The gameplay looked good. I still need to see more of it for me to be a day one purchase or anything like that. Just because there's so many other games coming out, it doesn't look like it's quite as good as some other ones that are coming, but it is Fable, and I've always enjoyed Fable, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. For me, I don't really know about this one. It looked fun, don't get me wrong. I like the whole class system, because you obviously have the tank with the big-ass shield and stuff like that, and then the thief with the arrow and throwing knives and stuff, things like that. But to me, I don't know, I'm on the edge with this. I was expecting more gauntlet type, I guess, and we got that mixed with an evil guy with a tablet doing some shit. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's strange to me. I'll keep watching it. I'm not excited for it, if that's even a freaking word. But it is what it is, I guess. We'll see how it turns out.
I'll let you know. So day one for me. I'll get into the beta, and then after the beta, I'm on media blackout for Fable Legends.
Yeah, but by the way, we all did sign up for the beta that is coming out that they announced
later this year. They said.
Yeah, beta may change my mind. So.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. But they, I don't know if they expressly said, but I think later on they filled some people in. It doesn't have to be 4 players and then the evil guy. It can be less, and it'll be filled in with AI. And they didn't explain too much into it. They just showed us gameplay. Hey, this is what we got. More info to come later.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of talking at all in the Microsoft press conference. It was a lot of quick intro. Here's the game. Here's the game.
We got a controller in our hand. Let's do this.
Yeah, they kept the talking to a minimum, which I appreciate. But I also would like to see. It's a fine balance. They went really gameplay and trailer heavy, which is great. But it would have been nice to have a little more detail on some of these games, because some of them they just kind of said, "Hey, here's a trailer," and it's like, okay, can we get some context?
They did have a Q&A afterwards that I think most of us missed. I don't know if anyone really watched the whole thing. A few questions were answered. Yeah, a few questions were answered, but I don't know which one specifically because I wasn't really paying attention. So.
Also, side note, everything before Fable that we've mentioned will be coming out this year. Everything after Fable will be coming out next year. Is that right?
No.
Yeah, sort of.
No, kinda.
Yeah.
Master Chief Collection is in there.
Yeah, there's a few
Collection
things.
so,
but
yeah.
for sure, everything prior to Fable Legends is coming out this year, or is already out.
Yeah.
Like the Dead Rising, etc. So, and then a few things from here on are also coming out this year. So, like the next thing is technically out in an open beta. That's Project Spark. They showed a montage, basically, same they showed a little trailer that tried to be funny, and it really wasn't, in my opinion. But it was still cool to see the game. Project Spark is pretty awesome. It's just really complicated and probably takes a lot more time than I'm willing to put into it to create. I just want to play people's worlds. So.
I'm gonna get into this. Microsoft, and I know you're not gonna ever listen to this probably, but why would you do that to Conker, man? I wanted that game. I mean, you guys know I got so excited when Conker came with that freaking chainsaw and saw it through the Project Spark logo. I thought this was a whole new game.
We know what you're talking about, but you should probably explain what it actually is to anyone listening who may not have seen it.
Okay, well, they got done with the Project Spark intro, and all of a sudden, here comes a bunch of squirrels running across the screen. And I'm like, okay, it's the squirrels from Project Spark, which I've seen before playing the beta. And then all of a sudden, Conker comes out from Bad Fur Day for N64 and the remake Conker Live and Reloaded for Xbox. And he saws the logo in half. And then they announced that it's for Project Spark. Why would you do that? That is a big mistake in my eyes. I mean, I was so damn excited for that. I was like going, yes, yes, yes. And then they announced for Project Spark. I'm like, no, no, no. I don't know. It was heartbreaking to me.
Carnal's awake now.
Yeah, I am. It was heartbreaking to me. I gotta tell you.
It tricked us. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't nearly as heartbroken as Carnal, but it tricked us. It was. I don't know if I'd call it a mistake, but it was kind of funny in a way. But
it doesn't mean that's the only Conker we're ever gonna get, and it's just something they could do right now. It's something fans wanted. Well, here's something. We can't give you everything in a day. It takes time to make a good game, especially a funny game like that. So maybe this is all they could give us for right now.
This is part of the. This is part of the Q&A that I caught. Phil Spencer actually got a tweet from somebody saying that they would it'd be a cool idea to put Conker into Project Spark with all the items and textures from the original game, Live and Reloaded. And Phil Spencer thought, well, damn, that's a really cool idea, so that's why they did it. That's part of the Q&A I actually heard. It was from a fan tweet. So they are listening to us, obviously.
Yeah.
But not enough.
There was never a doubt about that.
Yeah.
Rare, damn it, you should have made that game. I'm done.
Maybe they are.
All right. So, yeah, I thought we were going to basically skip over this pretty much, so that was longer than I expected.
My bad.
That's all good. It was
you
the
should have
Conker.
known better than that. Come on.
The next thing they showed was a trailer for a game called Ori and the Blind Forest. It looks very... I mean, it's in the same sort of vein graphically as, the game that just came out a month or two ago. Help me out here. There you go. The same kind of artsy, hand-drawn-ish kind of graphics. Different style gameplay. It's not an RPG in that sense. It looks like more of a platformer, from what I could tell. But it was a pretty cool trailer. I thought the trailer looked pretty good. And then they showed a little bit of gameplay at the end of the trailer, I believe. So, I think, was it you, Average, that said you were looking forward to that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I will be getting it.
Yeah. And that one
I'm
is...
Oh,
go ahead, sorry.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say I'm a platform... That's what I grew up on. I mean, that's what most of us grew up on if we played NES at any point in our gaming careers. But I still like them. I know some people grew away from them when graphics went 3D, but if you give me a good platformer, I will play it. Child of Light, while it's not a traditional platformer, it's still a platformer at heart, even though it's an RPG. Love it. So if you can give me something in that art style and draw me in, and that trailer drew me in, that's the biggest thing.
The feels, man. The feels.
The feels, definitely.
Yeah, it was definitely
a very good trailer. So I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about it and then just buying it.
and by the way, guys, after the podcast, Average is on Media Blackout.
Not for this one. Not for that one. Not yet. That's why I said I have to learn a little bit more about it. Then I'll be in media blackout, and then I'll just buy it.
Giving you a hard time.
I know.
So, yeah, they didn't really announce anything for the game other than here's a trailer with a little bit of gameplay and, basically, I think this is the only on Xbox again. This is the an Xbox One exclusive. We should probably say which ones are exclusives here. We haven't really been talking about that. So, Forza Horizon 2 is exclusive. Sunset Overdrive is exclusive. Obviously, Dead Rising, Fable Legends, Project Spark, Ori, and a couple other ones moving on. We'll make
the
note
next
of them.
one.
Yep. So
And
the
every
next
other
one,
game before that has had exclusive or time DLC.
yeah, something. Although I don't know if
Something
Dragon Age
similar.
did. Did Dragon Age? Maybe it did.
Yes,
I can't remember. It did
all
have
DLC will first come to Xbox One.
Okay. So there's that. Yeah, next one's, I'm sure no one cares about this one. So we
Nah.
can probably just skip right over it. But Halo 5
Yeah.
Guardians and the Master Chief Collection was officially announced. So lots
what's
of
the next game?
yeah, lots of information regarding the Halo stuff. They did show I would call it more of a teaser than a trailer for Halo 5 Guardians.
Multiplayer.
It solved for Halo 5 Guardians.
Oh no, you're right. They did show that.
They didn't show like anything really in game. They hinted
No,
at some. It raised more questions
okay.
than it answered questions. I think.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, absolutely.
So we have no real idea of what's going on. I'm sure you'll see a lot of people break it down over the next few days, try to figure out some of the tidbits that are in there. It's not much to say about it. I mean, it's Halo 5. It's coming next year.
Spoilers if you haven't watched it. When they showed the Arbiter, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Mind if I call out somebody?
ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just got to go ahead, and for anyone that's listening, I'm going to go ahead and call out Mr. X Media and his little insider. Right on his site, he said, "How does everybody like the new Master Chief?" Hinting that top guy in the blue visor was Master Chief's new armor.
Shots fired.
Nope. You're a liar. Your insider's fake. I ain't going to go to your site again.
Night, babe.
But thank you, and have a nice day. I enjoyed the conversations while we were there.
But if you'd like to come over to our site, you're more than welcome, everybody.
And there we've hit our yearly quota of talking about that site.
Chief plug.
Yep.
Yeah, so in addition to the Halo 5 Guardians, they announced the Master Chief Collection, which I think pretty much everyone just assumed was fact, but it's good to have official confirmation. It includes Halo 1 Anniversary, Halo 2 Anniversary,
Swing.
and then Halo 3 and 4. I'm assuming those are more ports than anything. They're not really touched up, so to speak.
1080p.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hang on, but they're not remastered. They're just
No.
they obviously with the newer hardware they're able to run it at a higher resolution and frame rate. They're all going to be 1080p 60. But Halo 2 will have a remastered graphics in the campaign with the toggle between old graphics, new graphics, just like Halo 1 Anniversary or Combat Evolved Anniversary, I should say. All the multiplayers are intact in their original form. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, guys, by the way. There's so much information today. My brain could be mixing things up.
Fine, keep going.
They're going to have all the maps, basically, from the originals. So there's actually over 100 maps, I believe they said.
Plus DLCs,
total.
maps, and everything.
Every single map that's ever been released for these games is basically coming. And
And they will all be running on their own engine.
Yep, they'll all be running on their original engine. So there's, the gameplay itself is gonna, if you loved the Halo 2 multiplayer, it's the Halo 2 multiplayer. It's not.
It was exactly the same.
Yeah, they said it's, the graphics are bumped up in some of the maps, I believe. But the actual
6 of them.
Yeah, the gameplay itself is identical regardless of whether you're playing on the new graphics or the old graphics. So, yeah, I think people will be happy about that. And then each game, even though it's going to be bundled in one, each game's going to have its own 1,000 gamer score if you're an achievement whore, like Carnal. So you can get 4,000 achievements out of it.
Second.
And last bit, and then I'll let you guys talk as much as you want about it. With the bundle, the Master Chief Collection, you get a beta invite to Halo 5 Guardians for, they said, later this year, I believe.
December.
I don't know is it December? I don't know what they said.
December.
And then you also get the Ridley Scott digital feature, which is part of it. And that's it. That's it. Just 4 games and a beta and everything else.
Four multiplayers. Movie.
Yeah, don't forget. People that thought that there was going to be a a mashup of
Halo
the
Journey.
Halo story, the Halo journey. You can create your own moments within the game. So if you only want to play the good moments from Halo 3 or Halo 2 or Halo 1, you can jump right into specific moments and make your own playlist of moments from those games. That's also another thing for those people who maybe just want to get the story and don't want to go through all 4 games in succession. You can just play the end of Act 2 and then the end of Act 7 and then, so on and so forth. So.
Yep. One other tech note: all these games, too, all the multiplayers, while they're on their own engines, are going to be dedicated servers, which is awesome. So I think that was one of those things people were wondering if they were going to do that, or if like the games that used to be hosted on client side were going to stay hosted on client side, but they are running on dedicated servers. So.
Yay!
So awesome.
Yeah, talk.
Who no, I think it's absolutely outstanding that they are giving us that big of a bundle of games. I mean, I don't know how you can get better than that. This is probably the biggest bundle of games I've seen since like the Orange Box with Half-Life 2 and Team Fortress 2 and all those. It's a very, very good deal.
Oh yeah, this is so much better than just one remastered game. This is, still ain't gonna sell all my originals though. Gonna keep those.
As if I didn't have enough to fucking play. Jesus, Microsoft.
Yeah.
The one thing we didn't mention that's kind of important. You're getting all this, Alex, and guess what? It's only $59.99.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Well, we're assuming. Do we know the price, or do we know
No,
it?
they said the price.
That's
Okay, they did.
confirmed.
Okay, good.
They said it in the talks right after.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's a price. I'm okay with that. $50 or $60 price for that. So I think most people will be.
The only thing they could do is add in the originals and charge me another $20, and I'd still pay it all day long. I'm just saying.
Yep. All right. Anything else on Halo? I'm sure we'll be talking a lot more about that as it gets closer to release later this year. So.
I'd like to add something. Halo is awesome. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I think we're all fans. Does anyone in this party not like Halo or not a big fan of Halo? I don't even know if everyone is. Is everyone good?
Everyone.
Or is someone afraid to say no because they're afraid they're not going to be on the
Someone
next
who
podcast?
hadn't said anything is Cabin, who has never played them before.
No, he has.
No,
He's
no,
played
I
the
played,
first 2.
I played the first 2.
Oh.
Yep.
And I kind of played the
well,
third one on a friend's console, but I don't actually have a 360.
Yeah.
And I'm just one of the many people that didn't get to play all the Halo games. So this package is very, very awesome.
Yep.
I paid $60 just to play Halo 4, so I'm all in.
I'd pay $60 for Halo 2 Anniversary. So
Yeah, we were all ready to put up $60 for one game, and they didn't even guarantee us the multiplayer.
and they're like, no, we're
Now
gonna
we
throw
get-
Halo 1 Anniversary in there. No, we're gonna throw Halo 3 in there. No, we're gonna throw Halo 4 in there.
Yeah. And also, for anyone who doesn't know, Cabin did the impossible, something that can't be done. He went from PS3 to Xbox One.
Oh yeah,
That's unheard of, apparently.
Little
And
known fact about me.
Yeah, no one's ever done that, according to the internet. So it's good. We have proof that it has been done, which is why he didn't get to play Halo 3
After
and 4.
this, he's got to go back in his cage so we can take him down to the freak show and show him off. So if he doesn't talk much, it's because he's got cage fever. So our bad.
Tanner, did we lose
What?
you?
I was just about to say, did we lose? Did we
Oh
lose
no,
the
he said
connection?
he said he had to step out for a second or something. So we'll be moving on to
What's inside?
Inside is that
Inside
side.
is the.
Oh, it's that side-scrolling game, isn't it?
Oh.
That's like a. It's kind of like a.
It's
He's
from
so
the
good to edit
people
all
that
this
made
out. This is
Limbo,
terrible.
I believe.
What's inside? No, inside looked really cool. It looked.
did.
Yeah, it looked like it was very story driven. It's kind of like. I don't know.
Limbo.
It's like similar to Limbo, but maybe not as. I don't know,
that game.
Scary.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it
Right.
definitely looked like it was gonna be like story driven and.
Well, I don't know if it would be. I think it might be just as scary. I mean, we're in Limbo. You have these shadow things just trying to stop you. In this one, it's kind of like a desperation, a loneliness to it seemed like he was searching for probably his family or to try to explain what was kind of going on around him. He seemed like he was a little kid. He was very scared. It seemed, I think the game's side-scrolling. That's what it seemed like to me.
Oh yeah.
But,
yeah. Oh, you know what it reminded me of? That other game that was for 360 that was also side-scrolling, but it was stealthy. Like you had to like hide from people a lot. It was also depressing.
Everyone draw a blank.
Oh.
It wasn't Limbo, was it?
Limbo.
No. It's all right. Just move on. I'll
there were a lot of great side-scrolling arcade games on the 360.
I Am Alive, wasn't it just free on Xbox 360? Is that the one you're talking about?
I don't think so. Because I played it on PC, but I know it's exclusive for 360 for a while.
Was it the Metroid-esque one?
Yeah, it was kind of
done by Epic.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the game, but I know what you're talking about.
Shadow Complex?
Yeah.
No.
Shadow Complex.
No.
Kinda. No? That's not the one I was talking about in tone.
That's the one by Epic.
I'll move on.
All right.
Well, we'll draw
out of nowhere.
Yeah. Thank you, Kevin, for that end conversation. Yeah. It reminds me of this one game, and we'll spend 4 minutes trying to figure out what it was and still not figure it out. If you think of it, just shout it out later in the podcast.
Oh, it'll be shouted.
Great adventure!
So yeah, next one. Unless someone else has more, I think it was just a trailer, so we don't have a whole lot to say on that one. I don't think.
Yeah.
The ID at Xbox, what do they call it? A sizzler, so to speak. Some of the bigger names.
Mashup. I don't know.
Compilation, whatever you want to call it.
Montage.
Montage.
Sorry, Kevin Butler, man. He's.
Yeah,
awesome.
Someone else can talk about these. I'm not a big indie guy, so I don't have a strong opinion on hardly any of those games. So I'll let someone else talk.
What's the name of the one that looked like is from the 30s cartoon?
Broforce.
Was it like Cuphead or something?
Oh, that one. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it was something with a cup in it. But I thought it just looked really cool.
It did. It had a really neat art style. I liked it.
It reminded me of Looney Tunes.
Sorry.
Deadlight.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Deadlight.
Deadlight. There were about 4 of them in there that I'll probably end up getting at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you the names because they went by too quick.
Yeah,
one of them was black and white. One of them was the 40s, 50s styles cartoon one.
Yep.
Broforce.
If you're not familiar with Broforce, go look at some of the trailers. They're absolutely hilarious.
Oh yeah.
You get to play one of the characters is Bronan.
Bronan and Brobarian.
Yeah, it's hilarious. The trailers are hilarious. Even if you're never gonna buy the game, I would still go watch the trailers.
I don't know if anyone noticed it, but Mighty Number 9 was in that Sizzler as well.
Yep.
Mighty Number 9 will definitely be on my console in February.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. Anyone who loves the old Mega Mans and
Marvel
and loves his creation style, then absolutely you'll be getting that. And very glad that he hit his very, very high goals to actually get it onto this console and hit them all.
Oh, welcome to Connect, MW.
Thank you.
Wasn't it great how Connect just picks you up if you drop your microphone?
Yeah. Awesome feature. Yeah. Does anyone else have any other games from that trailer that stuck out to them?
I mean, the obvious one that's already popular is Below for me.
Yeah, Below looks cool.
Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest indie games out there for Xbox, at least right now. That's people who have played it said it's awesome. Some of the media have played it, so
it's the biggest.
I'm looking forward
I'm
going to be trying as many indie games as I can afford this year, so I'll be happy to report back on what I try later on.
I like Plague Incorporated just because I've been playing it on the PC when it was, years ago. I thought it was really cool, and then they brought it out to the phones, and it's a good time waster, and you get to kill off the world, so it's been awesome with viruses.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, even out of that little trailer, this is a snippet of some of the games. That's not all the games in the program, but I think there's something for everyone in there. So even me, who's not an indie guy, I'm sure I'll buy at least 1 or 2 of those. But yeah, they didn't go into much detail. They really kind of glanced over a lot of the indie games, other than the ones we talked about already, like Ori in the Blind Forest and Inside.
Ori.
Those look like indie style games, but they got a little bit more feature on them. Any other ones? No. Okay. Next one. This is one we talked about in the last podcast, I believe. This was one of my rumors I brought up. Maybe it was the one before, because Microsoft had filed in Europe to get the Phantom Dust trademark again, or copyright, or whatever it was. Yeah, so they're coming out with a Phantom Dust game for Xbox One. So, if you don't know what Phantom Dust is, go look it up. Go watch some gameplay video of the original one. We really don't know what the new one's going to look like, because it looked like more of a CGI cutscene type trailer. Yeah, I mean, it did looked like a ton of destructible stuff. Was it Landshark? Or Average? Someone pointed out that...
I think we all did.
I didn't notice, because I wasn't paying that close. I was looking at the characters more than the surroundings, I guess, so I didn't even notice. Mostly because I thought the guy looked like a doofus. But but yeah, what was was it at Build?
No, I think it was a Build event where they showed off Azure running a game running off all off Azure versus
the physics
locally.
Specifically. Yep.
Yeah, the physics. And they showed a big building being totally destructed as they were shooting it with stuff, and the rumor is the thought was that might be what did they say at the end of it? They said this is not
Phil
takeaway.
Spencer. Phil Spencer said that's not throwaway material. That's basically hinting that it's actually from a game of some sort.
Yeah.
It's usable stuff.
And I'm pretty sure that was what we just saw in Phantom Dust today. So.
And that was one of the games someone mentioned that it could be. I remember way back. I don't know if it was us or if it was someone. I read it somewhere or heard it somewhere.
I threw it up on our site too, I think.
So, yeah, I have a lot of hope for Phantom Dust. The original game was really fun. I didn't play it a lot, but I played a little bit and have fond memories. So I'm hoping this one's lives up to it. Yeah, just another... It's a really unique game, so it's cool to have something like that on the Xbox. A little different than your typical shooter or adventure type game. So, like I said, not a lot of info, just a CGI trailer on that one. So, next one is another exclusive. No, sorry, not exclusive. I wish it was.
Exclusive content, but not exclusive.
Some exclusive content. The Division. They had more. We'll call it gameplay. I have my own theory on that, but it was gameplay of some sort. Someone played it at some point, whether it was live or canned. Still looks amazing, graphically and gameplay-wise. This was a new area that they went over, not the same one from last time. So, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Have your mind blown, basically. So.
Looks amazing.
It looks really freaking good. I can't wait for that dang game.
Even if the gameplay wasn't necessarily, it was kind of maybe scripted looking, but I don't care. It looks awesome. Gave me chills every time I watch that stuff.
Yeah, Microsoft definitely owes us all a new pair of pants on that one.
Yeah.
3.
And Ubisoft.
3 new pairs.
3 new pairs.
Yeah.
And a new couch cushion.
You leaked through.
Well, you got to get up to go get the other pair.
if we still do this next year, and I think Carnal has your address. I'm gonna get your address or pay Carnal, and Carnal's gonna send you a pair of a box of Depends, and just so you can get prepared for E3, you can just sit on your couch and not have to worry about it till after the conference.
Who's going to pay me more? Them who want to send Depends, or you to not maybe their address?
Well, I'll just give you the money and you can send it to them. So, yeah, it looks great. I mean, not much more to be said about it. I mean, it looks fantastic. So, unfortunately, it's not coming out till next year at best. So, alright, so the next thing that they showed was another exclusive game to the Xbox One from Platinum Games, the makers of Bayonetta and Vanquish, right? And other games that were before that. They make pretty good games, very unique games. Scalebound, it's Scalebound. I can't say that quite right for some reason. We don't know much about it. They showed what was pretty obvious CGI type trailer of a guy who looked like he had headphones on, and
And full body magic armor, which was sweet.
Yep, there's dragons and large beasts of sorts that look like kind of dinosaurs fighting. I really had no idea what was going on for most of it. But it looked cool. He can ride a dragon. He can summon like scales on his body, armor basically, and has some sort of magic powers and whatnot. So, does anyone else have another interpretation of that trailer? Because I was left going, "What the hell is that? It looks cool, but what is the actual gameplay like?"
It reminds me of Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I get a very strong Monster Hunter vibe from it. Just in the way that it opened up. If you've ever watched a Monster Hunter game or watched a Monster Hunter trailer, it's almost exactly the same thing. You see a large monster, you see a dude with a sword, and they go at it. But it did take a deviation when, like Chano said, he put his headphones on and he grew armor and he jumped on top of his dragon and started riding, and it just started going into something totally different than your traditional Monster Hunter. So it's got something up its sleeve. We don't know what it is yet, but it definitely looks interesting.
My take on the whole thing, and this is a theory, is it's gonna be a little deep down, kind of. Essentially, you're in a modern world, and you're going into a simulation type of thing. You can use modern things. But it was pretty cool, and I enjoyed the CG. I'm sorry, but that character looked a little too much like Dante. That was my opinion.
I don't know if anybody else noticed this. When he took off in his dragon towards the Hydra, you notice 3 other dragons appear?
Yep, I noticed
different
that too,
colors.
with riders on them.
That could be very symbolic of, look, we got 4-player co-op, you can raise your own character, your own monster. So, but like everybody said, it's CGI, it's a trailer, it was meant to, hey, this is what we're thinking of, but we have no idea what it's actually going to look like and play like. And we won't play it this year anyway.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it's like Monster Hunter or a Monster Hunting game, but with the speed and just action heaviness of like Bayonetta and stuff.
Sure.
That would be good. I'm looking at the trailer now, and
the fluidity of the combat
ends up fighting another monster in the course of trying to fight you. It's just a lot going on. He has a bow and arrow. I almost forgot he pulled out the bow and arrow in the trailer. With so much going on, one of his hands looks fake or something. It's just a lot of little details you start picking up on the second time around. But it's definitely an interesting looking game. And even if it is just a CGI trailer, it's a very pretty CGI trailer.
I think the trailer did its job. Get people interested, talking and thinking more about, what are they actually going to show us in terms of gameplay? It did its job. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want some interesting Twitter reading, go look up some previous tweets of the guy who is the head, I believe, of Platinum Games. His vehement denials of an Xbox One exclusive game over the last 6-7 months. It's pretty hilarious. So I'm sure he'll take a lot of shit from people on Twitter, which I'm sure he probably won't care. But it's entertaining to read nonetheless. So
he, unlike every other CEO, likes to spoil things, or developer. He does his job. Keep it secret, blow people away. It works.
Keep it safe.
Yeah, which is a whole nother topic, which I'll bring up tomorrow when I go over the thing. Secrets, how people should keep them. Next game, and we missed one, we'll go back to it later, but next game, it was actually the last game shown at Microsoft, was Crackdown. Basically Crackdown 3, although they didn't use the numbered Crackdown at the end, so we're not sure if they're going to call it Crackdown 3 or just Crackdown, as I think Average pointed out, maybe it's a reboot. I don't know. We'll find out. But that one, we have no idea if it was using in-engine, anything, or if it was so early in development that it's purely a CGI trailer. So I mean, it looks like Crackdown, ridiculous and awesome at the same time.
Fun.
So, yeah. Yeah. Anyone? No one's interested in Crackdown?
Oh, sorry.
The Crackdown's like, I mean, I believe that game first came out on the 360, so I wasn't ever I never played
It was
it.
the launch title.
It was a launch title, yeah.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It came out a year
wasn't?
later, and inside of it came the
Halo 3 beta.
for Halo 3.
Yep.
Oh,
So
you're
it
right.
sold like crack.
Which is hilarious because it probably wouldn't have sold very well at all if it wasn't for that, and then people were pleasantly surprised. It was like they bought it for the beta, yet enjoyed the game. So it was kind of a funny reading all the reactions at that time. But yeah, I think this game's really early in development. Yeah, they did say it was going to be really cloud-heavy social stuff. So
Well, from the video, it's a very destructible environment.
yep.
Yeah.
It looked really awesome. I'm excited to see what they do with it. I don't know if it's supposed to be a reboot or whatever, but it did not have a 3 after it, so...
But it will definitely tide us over when we're all done with Sunset Overdrive next year, and we want something just crazy fun to go in and blow stuff up with. That's for damn sure.
Yep.
And the game that you forgot was the game that one of the games that I probably most wanted to see at the show.
Go ahead and introduce it.
That would be Tomb Raider.
Oh, there's 2 of them then. We missed 2 of them.
Which
Oh
one
man,
did you
but
forget?
that Tomb Raider
We-
trailer was really good. was really good.
I said weeks ago, if Square Enix doesn't do anything else besides show Final Fantasy 15, which I'm sure that they'll do at their booth one day this week, because they got like 4 slots taken up for the rest of the week. They have to show me Tomb Raider 2. They said it was in development, that it was being worked on, and they didn't disappoint me. Thank you very much, Square Enix, for realizing that you do make money off of your video games, even though you don't sell like Call of Duty, because nobody sells like Call of Duty. Just remember that. And keep bringing me Tomb Raider. I was very, very happy to see that.
Yeah, Tomb Raider looked great. I mean, it didn't show much of actual in-game anything. Showed a little bit maybe of the setting of the next one, but hey, it looks dark and depressing, very similar to the first one.
Yeah, it looks
Tomb Raider
great.
game. Yep.
Tomb Raider looks awesome. I really enjoyed the freaking first one. I 100% of that game on PlayStation.
As did I on Xbox.
PlayStation?
Yes.
Yeah, my brother had it, and I borrowed it from him. I didn't feel like buying it just to play it on Xbox 360. So.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
I believe I'm in the same boat as Average. I beat it once on the 360 and once on Xbox One. I bought it twice, so...
Well, I've beat it 3 times total. I did it twice on the 360, and I'm about to start it for the second time on the Xbox One.
Well, aren't you awesome, okay?
Well, I beat it like 15 times backwards.
I did it standing on my head.
I'm just saying I like the game. It is Tomb Raider is
it's
my
definitely a
favorite
good game.
franchise.
After
Like all
being
the
a
way
Ghost
back,
Rider.
Tomb Raider was the reason that I bought my PlayStation. Like when the PlayStation came out.
Oh, did you guys?
Tomb Raider.
Did you guys? I actually checked it out, but I saw like a rumor about on Microsoft's website they listed Tomb Raider, the second Tomb Raider, in their exclusives section, which I'm pretty sure is probably just a mistake. It's a mistake.
It's possible, but it's possible that it's a typo, but it's also possible that it's true because
Microsoft
on the
bought
Xbox
Square.
360. Well, no, the Xbox 360. Tomb Raider Legend was an exclusive to the Xbox 360 because it was the first Tomb Raider title in a very long time, and they just had a deal with Crystal Dynamics at that time to do that game exclusively. So it's possible. It has been done before, and it's possible that it could be done again.
Yep. You would think they would have made that very clear, though, if that was the case, but you never know.
True, they could still be working on a deal or something or whatever. But.
Yeah, but then again, Microsoft doesn't use the word exclusive before every game they show.
Right.
Oh my gosh, like
Well, that's a whole other topic for
That's a
tomorrow.
whole other topic.
Yeah.
For tomorrow,
We did also
Better
forget.
on Xbox. Oh, I mean, what?
We forgot one other awesome game, by the way, and that's The Witcher 3. They showed gameplay. CD Projekt Red was there, and they showed actual gameplay of The Witcher.
On Xbox One.
Yes. Well, we can only assume, but yeah. They had the controller in the hand, and they were at the Xbox conference, so I'd hope they were playing it on the Xbox.
Yeah.
But we have no actual proof that they were playing on an Xbox, I guess. But looks good. Yeah,
really good.
it's The Witcher.
Nice.
It's The Witcher 2.
Distance.
Yep.
That game is ridiculous. At one point when he's fighting the Griffin, and he looks up as it's flying over him, and then he looks back at the mountain, it's oh my god, it's just ridiculous.
I know it's weird, but the biggest thing that impressed me about the trailer, and I told you guys this before, is when he spotted the Griffin, and it flapped away, its feathers fell off, and they were on the ground. I mean, with normally stuff like that, with flying feathers, they disappear in midair, but they fell on the ground, and you could see him as he was running by. At least I think those were feathers. If they're not, then I'm getting excited for no reason over that. But no, it looks amazing, and I haven't even played the first two. Can't wait to get my PC built.
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing about that was, I believe they said, like, I don't know if there's like no loading screens, but it didn't seem like there were any. But he was like, you can just look in the distance,
once you go in,
and you'll be able to go there.
You're in. It's like Skyrim. You
But
go in,
with
you're there.
100 times more detail, it's just ridiculous.
Hopefully not every door has a loading screen, like Skyrim.
I really doubt that. They seemed very adamant about it not having a loading screen, and this world is yours.
It'll be probably very similar to Watch Dogs. They'll probably have a fairly long initial load time, and then you won't see a loading screen pretty much from there on.
And another thing I was impressed by, and I know these are, again, something minor, but when he rode into town with the beast's head on his attached to his saddle, the way the head was fastened with the I don't know what he fastened it with.
It's like a hook through its eye.
Yeah, but it looked like amazing because there was no clipping. It didn't look unnatural. It looked like it was weighted down. I mean, they did such a good job on the details here.
That's definitely not a kid's game. Very violent.
No, there's a lot of sex. Jeez. There's a lot of sex, a lot of violence. Yep.
A lot of sex.
Yeah, I'm sure they won't deviate from the sex and the violence.
Probably not.
No.
Sex and candy.
Yeah.
I think he was going down on her when one section of it.
So, moving on.
Wow.
Let's real quick. Anyone who wants to, if you have a minute or two, go ahead and give a quick overall thought on your impression of the conference. Keep it to a minute or two max. Don't compare it to other conferences right now. We'll be doing that at the end of the podcast tomorrow. So just give your thoughts on this particular conference. Anyone volunteer to go first?
I'll go. Okay.
Right, go ahead.
My opinion on the conference, I thought it was great. They showed games, and that's what's important. They showed game after game after game after game, and they barely stopped. I mean, they had little tiny segments of talking between and kind of introductions and stuff, but the way they did it is actually how I think E3 should be done, and they did a damn good job of it.
Yeah, I feel like if I had to give it a grade, I'd give it like a B+, because I felt like I wouldn't.
Don't grade it if you
Don't grade it.
Yeah.
If I had to give it,
but
if I had to give it a feeling, I'd give it like a. No, I'm kidding. No, I definitely enjoyed it. But like it went by so freaking quick, and I felt like there's just so much more I wanted to see by the end of it. So I guess that's kind of a good thing, but it's also kind of a bad thing. So, but it was definitely good for what it did show. Next.
Yes, I'll
It
go.
was solid but safe. What do I call it?
Solid but safe.
I went in trying to have muted expectations because I didn't want to be disappointed. I wanted to go in and have a good time. And when they first showed Call of Duty, I was like, oh. And I perked right up. Everything after that was really good. There was no lulls in it. Nothing boring. Nothing took too long. They just moved it right along. It kept you interested. And the time went by so fast because we were having a good time the whole time. And I thought that was really impressive. Some of the press conferences in the past have not been that way. They've just kind of dragged on, and you're just like, get to the gameplay. I don't care about your sales or whatever you're trying to push on us. Just move along. And they, as Dom here mentioned, they were very classy. When they first did the introduction, they were... Bill talked about, Sony, Nintendo. They mentioned them, that they're all there for the games. They're there to make people enjoy their experiences, and they're right.
Yep. Should point out too, there was no subtle shots at the competitors. Not even, I didn't pick up on not a single word that was meant to be like you could even interpret it as a shot to their competitors, which is nice. So,
they're too busy showing games.
Yeah. Focus on which
yeah.
one. Average, what did you think? He's gonna start
crying. He's gonna start crying pretty soon. You're gonna start hearing some whimpering.
Cry.
No,
cry.
I okay. I'll tell you what I thought of the show, but then we have to do something before we end this. The show was great.
Ultimatum.
I'm all about games. I'm all about games, different genres. I'm all about seeing those games on stage. I don't care about being floored or anything like that. I mean, of course, it's nice to get a megaton, as they call it nowadays, or whatever the case may be. But I just want to know that my hobby is alive and thriving. And for an hour and 20 minutes, I saw my hobby alive and thriving on Xbox One, on Xbox 360 or whatever it is that Microsoft is going to be putting these games on. They talked about games. That's what E3 is about. That's what I wanted to see. Now, for the rest of the show, they talk about add-ons and stuff like that. That's fine. But today was about games. That's what I wanted to see, and that's what they showed me. So I was 100% okay with everything that I saw today from the Microsoft press conference. What I just saw, though, that we touched on, that you guys need to go and watch, you can watch it now if you want to. The ID at Xbox trailer that we saw at E3 is probably 2.5 minutes shorter than the one that's on the dashboard. And there are probably 7 or 8 more games in that trailer that you need to look at. They have actually redone, if you remember Out of This World, the flashback.
No.
Look them up. Out of This World is a side-scroller puzzle game. Flashback is in the same ilk. They've actually redone and updated the graphics on Out of This World, and it's in there in the ID at Xbox montage. Guacamelee is in there. There's a couple, like I said, about 7 or 8 games that were not in that montage at E3 that you need to take a look at.
I'll have to go look at that.
But yeah, I'm about to watch it again. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So everyone else but me then has given their thoughts.
Landshark, I don't.
Landshark?
Oh, just short.
Yeah.
Just that. I thought it was really solid. They said games. They brought games. Same thing they did last year, right? Basically. Even more so with the games this year, but I wasn't disappointed. My wallet is disappointed because we'll have no money left at the end of the year, but yeah, it was good. I liked it. There's a lot of stuff they left out that I think if they could have added, that would have benefited a bit, I guess. But we'll see how the rest of E3 turns out with the news, what hits the media and stuff like that.
I did want to add one thing. Every other Microsoft conference, it seemed really scripted. When you see the guys walk up there and they're talking, this year it wasn't like that. Sure, it probably still was scripted. You can't go up in front of millions and millions of people and freestyle, but every year before it's been like experiences, this experience, that experience, and this year, no, it was a lot more well written, maybe more from the heart, really just wanted to show you these games and hope you enjoy them as much as they did probably creating them.
Yeah. So, you guys summarize a lot of what I felt.
No one cares about your opinion.
That's
No, I'm
probably
just
true.
kidding.
I'm going to give it anyway. So I enjoyed the conference overall. I thought they delivered on their promise of games. And I would love to see Phil tweet Michael Pachter or whatever the hell his name is with just suck it or something like that after he predicted or assumed that Microsoft would spend half their conference on all the media stuff, and they didn't spend any of their conference on the media stuff really. So be interesting to see what that tweet exchange looks like, because I think Phil Spencer, I think, even tweeted about that article, basically saying, hey, let's talk after the E3 conference or something. So that would be interesting. My only complaint about the conference, and the more I think about it, the more I don't think it's that they didn't have one, it's that everything was leaked ahead of time. It's driving me insane. I like information, but I would also like to be surprised once in a while. And there was nothing there today that surprised me. It was cool to see them. It was really awesome to see some of these games in motion and whatnot. But even the Platinum games, we knew they had one. It's been rumored forever. It was cool to finally get the name of it and see something on it. But even that wasn't. Crackdown was rumored for a while. Microsoft needs to keep secrets a little better, I think, in the future. Or at least try a little harder, maybe. I don't know. But just one game would have been nice to be a secret, or the Halo collection. God, that would have been amazing to not have any knowledge on that and then have that dropped on us. Just think about how much more exciting that would have been if they'd come out and said, oh, by the way, we're packaging Halo 1 through 4 and giving you this and giving you this. But no, we knew about it ahead of time because people are assholes and leak everything. So.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know how many of that are leaks or shots in the dark. They could be making that crackdown because there was a real need or a real want from the community. And someone guessed. They got a real lucky guess.
Well, Crackdown wasn't really the one I was talking about, though. I said we all kind of knew it was coming, but the Halo collection, I mean, that was something no one really had guessed, and everyone thought it was kind of far-fetched, honestly. Everyone just expected the Halo 2 anniversary. But if they had let everyone believe the Halo 2 anniversary was what they were going to give us, and then they'd come on stage and be like, oh yeah, we're giving you that, but on top of that, we're also giving you 1, 3, and 4. I mean, just think about that. Not knowing that existed, it would have been such an awesome announcement.
That was probably a leak, yeah.
And that irritates me that was leaked. So
I think a lot of the other stuff was guesswork, and how much did they get wrong that they got right? Tons more.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's guesswork. A lot of it's because it was sequels and whatnot. It would have been really nice if there would have been just one big surprise, and it doesn't have to be a new surprise. It just would have been nice to not have pretty detailed information on quite a bit of stuff. So, but it is what it is, and I still enjoyed the conference. So that's not to take anything away from the conference. The conference was pretty awesome. It was all games, and all games it looked very good, for the most part. So.
Oh yeah.
It's exciting to own an Xbox One right now, and not exciting for wallets everywhere, credit cards, however you plan on paying these, selling your body if you're carnal. Whatever you got to do to get the money.
Selling people to keep your body.
Yeah.
People like my body.
So, whatever you got to do, it's going to be an expensive, probably 3 or 4 months later this year, starting in basically September, maybe late August. And there's not really a let up until, February or March of next year, really?
I would say March, because we got The Witcher 3, I don't know if it was confirmed, but the rumor was February, the end of February.
Yeah, so...
Witcher has a release date. It's an
February something,
date,
right?
February 25th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I was right, the end of February. Mm-hmm. And
Dying Light was pushed back to that rough time frame, and there's other games that were coming out around that same time. So
Batman, I don't remember.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yep. So
a lot. Even this fall, spring, winter, whatever.
Yep. So unless anyone else has anything else about the Microsoft conference specifically, I think we'll wrap it here. We were gonna do EA and Ubi, but it's getting late, and we had an issue with Skype. And I think we're all just tired from the day. So we'll wrap it up tomorrow, and tomorrow will be another long podcast because we have EA, Ubisoft, Sony, which will probably take up the bulk of the time, I would imagine. And then Nintendo as well, depending on
quit
what
cutting
they
Nintendo
announce.
out, man.
I'm not cutting them out. I just don't, like Average said, unless they shock us all and actually show a bunch of stuff that we're not expecting, it probably won't be a very long discussion. Maybe they'll surprise us and they'll announce a whole bunch of stuff that we'll spend an hour on. But based on history, I doubt it'll happen. But you never know. But all those will be tomorrow, and then we'll kind of give you our general thoughts on the E3 press conferences, and if anyone cares to, they can rank the, who they thought. I don't want to say won E3 because E3 technically isn't even starting until tomorrow. But at least the press conference battles, so to speak, they put a lot of money into them. So it's curious to see how people kind of rank them and how they did. So that'll be tomorrow's podcast. More of the same, but different companies. So
thanks for listening.
Yep. No one else has anything, right? Everyone's
Check
just
out
tired.
that ID at
We
Xbox.
have sleep.
Oh, we should also say, so if you watch the stream either on Twitch or on Xbox, no matter how good you thought your stream was, the quality wasn't as good as what you're going to get on the Xbox dashboard.
Not at all,
go to
those
the
ID games.
Go to the Xbox at i3 or Xbox at I'm falling asleep here. Go to the Xbox at E3 button and look at the games, and they have much higher quality streams there. Look at Evolve, look at Division, look at some of those games. They look amazing.
Look at every single one of them. They're all amazing.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed looks great. I mean, look at them on there. They look a lot better than what you were probably watching. Even the Spike TV, which was HD, DirecTV or whatever, didn't look as good as these streams directly from Xbox. So
one other thing we did forget to mention was Happy Wars coming to Xbox One.
Yeah, they didn't really announce that in the trailer or in the thing, though, did they? Conference?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
That was in
because
the
cross-compatibility.
That's the cross-platform game.
Yep.
When was that? Did I just check out during that part of the conference?
What? You're so greedy.
It was pretty quick. It wasn't a major. They didn't spend a lot of time on it. They just kind of announced that it was coming, and it's going to be.
What was cross-platform?
Happy Wars.
Happy Wars.
Oh, right. Okay.
I missed that one.
That's just 2. 4
A
players.
lot of people would. Yep.
All right. Well, that's the E3 show. So.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. E3 technically kicked off. Well, at least here, it's June 10th now. So now it's officially E3. Not in Pacific time though. So there'll be lots of news. Just keep checking the forum. We'll be updating threads as new news pops in and posting new games if any new games are announced from any studios or anything. So. Pay attention.
Rainbow Six has been updated with the trailer. You can view the trailer in my OneDrive account. And also, Ubisoft updated their website with details on the game. I know we didn't go over Ubisoft conference yet, but if you want to see some cool shit, go take a look.
Yeah.
Damn it. Average, I'm too tired to read.
Hey, not my problem.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. It's getting late already. So, thanks for listening, and yeah, hopefully you like this one because it's going to be a lot of the same tomorrow. So, just different games, same talks. So, everyone have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Bye.